Yo, so this is the producer room, powered by producer culture. Got two goats in the building. My guys Sonni and Azul just landed this crazy Justin Bieber and Toliver record. Honest, what a crazy collaboration, man. And we're just gonna get into how this all came together. So, yo, who wants to kick us off? How did this all start?
It started like with a sample like that I made. I think it was around 2 years ago, and I was still living with my mom, like just producing. Wasn't even making a living out of it yet, and it's still one of my favorite loops because it's so simple, but it's so catchy, and it's just a loop with two simple chords, but the vocals and all the textures they really add to it. And so yeah, like later on, I got connected with Jay, who is my manager, and also manages Bing, and sent the stuff out to him, and he connected me with Azul, who like from that point he kind of finished the work, like he made the whole thing happen with me.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, yo, before we get to you, then, Azul, like, Sonni, when you were making like that sample, then can you give us a bit more like detail behind like the inspiration, the vibes you were going for, like what kind of sound you were trying to get?
Yeah, like I was always like really inspired by Travis Scott and Don Toliver sound. So that's what I was mostly into at that time, and was really heavily influenced by it. So it's actually pretty cool, pretty crazy that the track ended up with Don Toliver on it, because he was one of the main inspirations for my sound at that time. So yeah, that's what I was mostly into, and all of my sounds at that time was were heavily influenced by him and by artists who made kind of the similar sound, like really dark, really kind of psychedelic in a way.
Mm.
So that was about it.
No, that's fine. So that was made 2 years ago. How
Yeah.
long ago did it make it your way, Azul? When did you receive it?
I got it last year around actually this like what April or like around this time. Sonny and Jeremy ended up sending me, one of his packs, and it was like the first day I landed to go link up with Beam in Miami for the first time actually after we did a prior record, and we did it at like right when I landed at his house, we just started making it. Like I started popping up some stuff that Jeremy already had sent me, and I was like, yo, this is the one right here. And then me and Beam just went back and forth on it like for like 2 or 3 hours. And then after that, we went straight to the studio at like 6 in the morning, and then ended up like finishing the song and ended up like sending to Justin at like 8 or like 9 a.m. And we're in the car like jamming out, like feeling this shit, like this is it. And dude, it was just sick how like everything kind of turned out. Like the first day being there and like the vibe and everything. And we felt the same vibe that Sonni felt, with the sample and everything. And it's just sick how like everything kind of turned out the way it did. A year later, around the same time we made it. So it's sick.
So you said you were going back and forth on the beat for a few hours. Like what's that process like? Are you just adding stuff, removing stuff? Like how does that work for
Yeah.
you?
No, we're pretty much just trying to, sound selection. I feel like that's like a key thing for us as producers always, is to figure out things that stick out, figure out sounds that are unique, that make sense to the, when a person hears it, they just feel like, damn, like what what was that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like the two genres of like mixing, our culture and with Beam's culture, with reggae and everything, and just embodying that, I felt like that's what this record became. You know, it was like two meshed up rhythms, you know, meshed up together into this like thing that is now that we love, as in like, you know, hard drums, sonics, and we wanted to make something that actually felt like people can move a little bit. And then I don't think me or Beam at the time felt like we weren't thinking Bieber. Like it wasn't like a process. We were just like vibing, you know? And I think at the end of the night that we kind of felt like, okay, this can do something, you know? And so happened that it actually went to Bieber that same night.
Damn. And Sonni, when this was like all going on in that 5 months, did you kind of know, yo, Justin, he could get on it, he might not get on it? Like, what were you feeling?
Uh, it was pretty crazy because I don't even know how to explain how I processed the whole thing, you know. But because I think like it only kind of clicked when it finally came out, you know. But it's kind of crazy to explain. But through the whole process, I was just like, you know, the song is sick, like it's crazy that Justin Bieber is on it, but I tried not to build too much expectations, you know. So it was kind of like a surprise when I got to know that it was actually coming out, and a pretty great surprise. Yeah.
When does Don Toliver come into the picture?
He came into the picture around after Bieber and his team, like they knew they wanted this song on the project, I feel. And then after that, they kind of wanted that next vibe. I felt like Don was like the perfect person to get on it, you know, and I feel like they were already like they wanted to do another record together. So it was just sick to see that, you know, I think after the 5 months, Don ended up getting on it, and then we ended up knowing that he was the feature officially, you know? So it was sick that like it all panned out literally in like a 5-6 month span.
The most crazy thing about Don Toliver being on it, it's because I kind of feel like a full circle, you know. When I first made the sample, I was heavily inspired by him. And the second thing is when I first started to hear the first ideas of the song and the beat, like he was one of the first that I thought, you know.
How does it feel like to kind of break so in such a crazy way from Brazil?
It's kind of impossible to explain, bro, because at certain point it seemed kind of impossible to do stuff like that, you know, especially like being down here and not having any kind of direct relations, or like be not being possible to actually be in the studio and be with the people, you know. So I think this song is not only big for me, you know, and for my career, but I see that a lot of people look at it like, oh, so this is possible. So we can do this, you know, because and it was kind of already happened. You see, it happen a lot with European producers, but you don't see that much with Brazilian or even like South American producers in general, you know?
Yeah, man, like he said, like it's very hard for us South Americans, you know. There's not a lot of us out here in the music industry and actually producing these records, and especially being for Sonni being in Brazil and not being in those rooms, and for young Brazilian, you know, kids and that want to be in the production and think that this thing is impossible. It's not, you know, like people are able to do this now from, you know, in front of the kitchen, in front of their mom, you know, like it's like video games, you know, and that's what's sick about this new day and age. It's like, this is a big win for our people. I feel like, you know, especially in how hard it is, and the stigmatization with like our music, and there's not a lot of there's not a lot of genre bending when it comes to our genre. So it's just sick to see like, you know, people like us coming in and trying to shape shift the music industry as much as possible. You know, I feel like trying to change up the sound and be experimental with certain things. Don't be scared, you know, and you don't got to follow a certain code, but there's a formula, but just kind of stick to what you need to do. And I feel like now they got laptops and you can produce on the phone and things like that. So don't feel, I feel like people shouldn't feel like these things are impossible now, you know?
Yeah, facts. You also, I want to know like what release day is like. So where were you guys when you first heard the song, like officially for the first time? How was that feeling?
Um, the first time I heard the song was when I got the vocals back from uh Bieber and Don, and then me and Beam ended up going back on the production again and added certain like parts. And I think like we touched up Don's parts and why Don's parts felt kind of like more open than Bieber's in certain areas. So I feel like that was like the first time I heard the song. But I think when I officially saw like the video, I felt like I think I was with my girl and my daughter, and it was just so surreal, like watching the video with them, like you know, like seeing this thing actually come to life from it not, you know, like from a record coming from nothing to something. It's like incredible to see, you know, and to see Justin on it, like somebody I feel like we all grew up with, you know, and I think it was just an amazing scenario, period, and a blessing, you know.
I first heard this song around the same time. I guess like when the first like the first version of JB on it, and like I went crazy, of course. But like when he actually came out and I saw it the video, like that was completely like that was something else, you know. Like it's impossible to explain. Like to see like a worldwide pop star, you know, like in a video with your music, like it's a crazy feeling, like, man. Like it was crazy. Like I was just at home with my girl too, but it was a crazy moment for real, for real.
No, that's beautiful, man. Yeah, congrats guys again on the record. Did a great job. What a collaboration. I know there's more to come, and we appreciate you taking the time to come and chop it up with us. But yeah, man, this has been the producer room powered by producer culture. Got my guys Sonni and Azul in the building, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.